Hi guys, so just quickly looking at DOT. I think that this kind of headline news is obviously that it's hit an all-time high. It's absolutely flying. I've kind of held off putting this video out. Just wanted to see how things would pan out, so that I didn't release something that was then instantly discredited. But basically, we've seen a rally of about 40% over the past 24 hours. Really, really amazing results. And I think what's been very interesting is just how sort of closely it has followed Bitcoin over this week. We saw the crash on Monday where we came kind of right down to about $7. And then as Bitcoin started to rally yesterday up to about 37,000, that kind of 12% bump that we saw, DOT absolutely flew with it. We managed to get a trade in on the breakout yesterday for about a gain of about 11%, I think. But if you had a trailing take profit on that, then hopefully you've seen some really good gains. Where are we going to go next? I'll be honest, I'm still very bullish on it. There's a couple of signs that I think are worth raising a note of caution. However, see down on the RSI, we're becoming, extremely overbought. Not necessarily the most bearish sign. We know that asset can continue to rally when overbought, but corrections are likely and could likely be dramatic. So the real key here for us is that DOT finds some higher level support rather than this kind of 7.3, 7.4 level that has been a rock for it previously. Hopefully, and I think what is quite likely to happen is that we're going to flip the resistance that we saw around this level of about $10.50, and we'll flip that into support. And hopefully, if we do see an overbought correction, that we catch it there. If not, I'm still very confident in the sort of $7 range support. The other thing really jumps out is the volume. So, I think over the last 24 hours, the volume was over, and I don't have the exact figures, I'm afraid. I probably should have written these down. Over about $1 billion, which the day before when we did this, I think the volume was about 500 million. So don't quote me on those figures exactly, but I think you'll find those to be roughly correct. And so it really just shows the influx of cash into DOT. One of the kind of interesting developments from that is that the market capitalization for the asset as a whole has increased to over 10 billion, and it's actually overtaken Litecoin as the number 5 biggest crypto coin. What that really means, I don't know, and how much effect that has, I'm not sure, but it's certainly interesting. Now, obviously, very bullish that volume came in, and I think that really drove the price up yesterday, and continuing through today. But there's always, I think that when you see levels that high, I think the last time we saw volume that high was around the kind of late December all-time highs that DOT was hitting. It can be unsustainable, and it can also be perceived as, it's almost always unsustainable, and it can be seen as a potentially bearish sign. So I think there are a couple of notes of caution there, but as we're speaking now, it's still continuing to push up. So yeah, I'm obviously incredibly bullish on this coin. No overhead resistance now. It's starting to push towards $13 amazingly, and realistically with those levels, really psychological resistance only between it and the kind of $20 mark. I alluded to that in our published analysis earlier today, that I can see it getting there. I can see it getting there in relatively quick time. I think the last thing to just kind of point out is that really what kind of kickstarted all this. DOT obviously had a lot of backing, as the project underneath the coin is extremely sound, and it launched in the summer, and I think it has a very kind of 2.0 feel to it. It's very much seen as the second generation of kind of crypto coins. What we saw around the end of December, when we saw a big boom in DOT, was that Binance replaced ETH on its homepage with a DOT listing. And of course, the front page of Binance listing drives huge amounts of volume. Not really sure if there is a comparable story as to why the volume flooded in yesterday, or whether it is just the tracking of Bitcoin. But if I find out, or I will find out, I will let you know. All right. Thank you very much for listening. If you've got any questions, just give me a shout. Bye.